Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by.
We're talking to someone who's going to add some value for you, a real estate investor, so you don't have to do paperwork, a transaction coordinator to the stars. How does that sound, David?
Sounds great.
Well, why don't we get right to it? What's some things that you add value to a customer and define your customer and define who you are? This is going to be fun.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the way that we add value to our clients is by taking stuff off of their plate. And what that does is that really allows them to focus on the stuff that moves the needle, the stuff that, gets you charged up, gets you out of bed so you can do the things that you love. Imagine going to the buffet and having to have a little bit of every single thing. Well, that's what running a real estate company is, right? There are lots of little different pieces and parts, things that you have to do, but you're not going to love all of them, right? You may not love broccoli and asparagus, and you may just really like the crab legs. Well, what our company does is we're going to take all that broccoli and asparagus off your plate. And what we're talking about there is paperwork, right? Probably for the same reason that you guys are very successful with your clients is, our clients, they want to go out and get people and put them under contract, right? Buy that deal. They want to take that deal and either, bring it in their own portfolio or assign it or close on it and resell it, right? And finding that end buyer, very exciting. That gets them all charged up. But the thing that's like just walking through quicksand and feeling like you're dying a death of 1,000 paper cuts is the paperwork, right? Finding death certificates, talking to people, collecting information and leases and mortgages and just all of that stuff, all that boring paperwork. That's what we do for our clients.
Yeah, I like that. I'm sure a lot of our investors out there, the viewers and listeners, are thinking, wow, I like the sounds of that. You're taking, everything, all the work off my shoulders,
Yeah.
And I like the asparagus and broccoli idea because nobody likes that.
Yeah, I got a couple of friends who love asparagus. I'm like, okay, that's really great for you. If you put enough melted cheese on it, maybe it's good, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Make it as unhealthy of a healthy dish as you can.
Right. Exactly.
All right, give me a little bit more. So, how does it work? How are you different than other transaction coordinators? Although you're nationwide, I mean, I know there's some unique things there, but give us a little bit more of a flavor and how you add value, a little bit more as to how you add value.
Sure. Well, yeah, let me kind of explain where we came from. So I was been an investor since 2002 when we bought our very first house. My wife and I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's where I'm located now. And in 2009, which was like the end times, right? The middle of the very beginning of the recession, I almost said depression. So I was, very solo operator, it's me, my wife, my brother at one point, and just trying to do everything, right? Like literally juggling all of the bowling balls all at one time, the marketing, the acquisitions, the property management, cutting grass, changing water heaters, selling my deal, dealing with the title company, right? Just trying to do all of it myself. Yeah. And what I realized is there was just kind of a cap on the number of deals I could do per month or the amount of money that I could make because there's just only so many hours in the day, right? Math and science tell us it's 24, right? We can't fudge that number. It's not 23 and it's not 26. So, I did that for a lot of years and, I was the person who was least open to the idea of bringing on and hiring some people onto my staff because, I had that thing that all entrepreneurs have, right? Nobody's smarter than me. Nobody works harder than me. I do it better than anybody else. Nobody will care more than me. All of that stuff, right? I got to be a control freak. I have to do it all myself, and that was fine. And was a nice job, right? It wasn't really a business until I realized that, I can bring people in to my company and help me do certain things, right? They can help me do acquisitions. They can help me do bookkeeping, accounting, all of those types of things. So, it was that point where, that was what made my business really start to explode to where we did over 1,600 wholesale deals. But the lesson there, right?
Hold on. 1,600 for you, in effect?
Yeah, I've done over 1,600 wholesale deals. I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Keep going. I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
that's okay. I didn't. Yeah. So yeah, I've been wholesaling a long time, but yeah, that was a hard lesson for me to learn, and I see that a lot with newer investors. Is, I got to get a bookkeeper, I got to get an accountant, I got to get a property manager, right? They don't want to let go of that, that stuff out of their hands. But once I did that, once I realized that I could bring in a transactions coordinator, right? In this case, she's now my COO, but I brought Heather in and she was my transactions coordinator because I was doing it myself because nobody's smarter than me. Nobody's as good as me, all that nonsense. And then what was happening is I was able to take my time and put it back on the things in my business that mattered, right? Which for me was talking to more buyers, talking to more sellers. And I remember one day I was looking at my bank account on my phone and I'm like, wonder where this $28,000 came from. I walked in. Actually, this office here was our podcast studio, used to be our old transactions office. And I said, hey, Heather, what's this $28,000? And she's like, well, dummy, that's that deal you sold 4 weeks ago. And I'm like, I completely forgot about it. Deal still closed. I got paid, but I was able to focus on the parts of the business that was going to result in more and more deals, right? So what this did is this caused our revenue to shoot way up. So yeah, that was kind of a big lesson for me. And then, over time, we realized this was something that all investors needed. I wasn't unique in this situation, right? It's something that, was going to be able to help a lot of people. And the thing that I hear the most from our clients is like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much time I was wasting on transactions because it's an hour here, 15 minutes here. It's a couple emails, it's running across town to pick up some documents. And the second thing that I hear is, I didn't realize somebody else could do this for me. Right. And that it could be done, as cheap as it is. So, yeah, so we sort of fell a little bit backwards into opening this company and started with, really we just built up transaction coordinators to help our company. And then some of my friends who run some big wholesale companies were like, hey, during COVID, I laid off my TC, my transaction coordinator. Can you help me? And that sort of just snowballed into helping investors all across the country. And now we've got hundreds of clients, and we did last year $238 million in transactions for our clients and generated over $20 million in assignment and novation fees.
Oh, so you're indeed a big player. Okay, now I'm getting you. That's really helpful to know. You're obviously a thought leader also. You do podcasts, etc. So, and thank you very much for being there. By the way, real quick, how does someone get a hold of you? Let's get to that first, and then we'll jump on.
Sure. I'm super easy. You can go to our website, which is the letter E, the letter Z, EzREIclosings with an S.com, and you can book a call with me there. I am all over social media. David Olds, REI, so David OLDS and then REI. It's the same for Instagram and Facebook. So we pump out just a ton of content, like me and my rental properties, or talking about just different aspects of the real estate business where we're trying to offer as much value as we can.
Yep, I got it. Okay, so then let's say, like, to what extent will you do the work? Meaning, let's say I find a property. I say, I'm making a deal. I'm going to do that, right? I make that offer. What will you do thereafter?
Yeah, the moment you got that property under contract, you're going to send that contract to me, to my team. So a little bit about us. We're operating here out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We don't use any remote workers, no virtual assistants. We have 17 coordinators right now. Every one of them is here in this office. In fact, right on the other side of that wall. So they are all here. So you're going to send us that contract. We're going to assign it to the right coordinator and the right title company, because one thing about us is we work in all 50 states and we handle all transaction types. So it doesn't matter if it's a wholesale deal, sub to, notes, wraps, installment deal, whatever it is, right? We handle all types of deals because, before we shut our wholesale company down, I was a 15-year wholesaler, and I get that every deal is going to be a little bit different, right? They're not all going to be the same. So you're going to send that to us. It's going to get assigned to, let's say, Claudia, one of my coordinators. She's going to call up Mrs. Smith, right? Hey, Mrs. Smith, I'm working with Kenner on your deal over here at 123 Main Street. Hey, I'm going to be your point of contact from here all the way till closing because I want you out. Go get your next deal. Go worry about selling your deal. Mrs. Smith, I need to collect some information from the title company so I can get you paid just as quickly as possible, right? Because we are always going to dangle that carrot. First off, you're our client, but she's the seller. It's our job to bring her over the line. Great. We have a kind of a proprietary, like a 5-page, we call it just an intake or a seller doc form. We're going to ask her every single question that the title company is going to need. So you're not going to get those 1,000 emails from the title company. Oh, what's their forwarding address? How do they want to get paid at closing? What about this? What about this other thing? What about this missing document? Right? All of that will come through us, and we will communicate with the seller. So we'll get all that information. We're going to kind of take all that work off your plate, giving you back your time. Once you have your end buyer in place, same thing. Send me that contract. Hey, Joe, this is Claudia. I'm working with Kenner over on 123 Main Street. Hey, looks like you contracted to buy this. Great. Have you deposited your EMD yet? Nope. Great. Here's the wiring instructions. And hey, looks like you're closing this in your LLC. I need to get your corporate docs. Who's the authorized signer? Oh, and you're using funding. You're using Kiavi to fund your deal. Cool. Who are you talking to over there? We need to get with them so we can get all of the mortgage terms. So I can get that over to the title company so we can get your deed of trust done and we can get this thing closed just as quickly as possible. Boom. So we're going to do literally white glove, concierge level, everything from the moment you get it under contract. We will take it from there. We are your personal back office.
Yeah, I get it. So as I think we do here at solutionsgroup.com, we do tax, finance, artificial intelligence for entrepreneurs. So we are really big advocates of technology, and I like to ask our people who are on, as we call you, a partner, episode partner. So to what extent are you using either technology or artificial intelligence to get that football over the goal line?
Yeah, very little artificial intelligence. Our business is a people business, right? We are on the phone constantly. Our phone minutes are off the charts, thousands every single week. There's no artificial intelligence way to call them up and say, hey, I need, the mortgage release was never filed with the county in 1987. We need to have you dig through some boxes and look that stuff up, right? There's so much of the title. People have tried to open title companies based off of AI and technology and failed miserably because one of the problems is there's no standardization in this industry. Right? We have 50 states who all love to do it different ways. There's title states and attorney states and abstract states and escrow states and some states like California who do it a little bit different, whether you're in the north part of the state or the south part of the state. And then there's 3,100 counties who all have completely different systems. Some of them aren't even online. So there is no way to pull that data. Now, we do work very closely with First American and Old Republic, and they've got some things where when we upload parts of our file, it can scan through and it'll pull like the property address, some very, very basic stuff. But again, deeds are written differently by almost every single attorney, no matter who's writing it. So there's no standardization. It's not like a 1040, right? Like where everybody uses the same form and it's very easy to go in there and plug in and pull out the numbers. So unfortunately, so much of what we do is just manual on the phone, sending an email, sending a text, following up with people. And even beyond just collecting information, what we do for our clients is, if you've got Mrs. Smith, who's your seller, right? This is what used to happen to me. I'm a solo operator. I get Mrs. Smith under contract. She's very excited. I'm very excited. Everybody's very excited. But what's my next thing? Right now, I'm worried about selling this deal. Right. So now I sort of set her aside and I'm out here running around town trying to sell my deal, showing it to people, all of these things. And now it's been 3 or 4 weeks. And I call Mrs. Smith back up and I'm like, hey, good news. We're ready to close next week. She's like, close? Who are you? Right? Like what? Something. Oh, you're that. I talked to you 4 weeks ago. You were serious? Oh, I contracted with somebody else. Right. So one of the things, because we know this is a big problem in our industry, we stay on the phone with Mrs. Smith every single week. Hey, Mrs. Smith, just wanted to let you know we're on track to close December 3rd. If you have any questions, let me know. But everything's on track. Are you okay? Yep. Great. Awesome. Talk to you next week. Right. So just a lot of that. It is a lot of hand holding in our business and making sure that these files get over the line.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I guess I don't really care if I'm an investor and I'm using you guys. I don't really care if you guys are using technology as long as the project gets done, you're getting the ball over the goal line. I guess that's all I care about.
That's it. At the end of the day, that is the ultimate KPI always, right? Did I get paid, right? Whether you're doing acquisitions, dispositions, right? Did I get paid? Okay, great. How did we get that there? Now, we are always looking for efficiencies in our business, right? I would love for my coordinators to handle 120 files instead of 70, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, there is a lot of what we do is just the people component here.
I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I know. We've just really enjoyed using technology because it's kept our fees down. But at the same time, there's some parts of our business that cannot be systematized or automated. So I totally get it. Okay. So then, what else? I assume you can work with any real estate agent, any investor. You're not.
Yeah, for us, again, our company was founded for my business, right? I don't know if you remember the old Hair Club for Men commercial, right? The guy says, not only am I the owner, but I'm a client. Well, the company, our systems were all designed around how we ran our nationwide wholesaling company. We were doing 25, maybe 30 deals a month. Like we were a pretty high volume company. And in order to do that sort of volume, you have to have a system, right? It's literally got to be like a production line, because we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's the way that we built the system, so that, any of our clients they love just plugging into it, because they can sign up with us today and be plugged into that tomorrow, and literally have this brain trust of 17 coordinators who did 2,200 files last year. Right, we'll do almost 3,700 is what we're projected to do this year. So we handle a lot of deals, right? There's nothing, it makes me laugh. Sometimes people are like, but can you do my kind of deal? I'm like, 2,200 deals last year. Yep. I promise you, I would love it if you brought us something that was new and unique, because the coordinators love new, something new. But typically it's the same thing over and over and over again. And the great thing about that is, the thing that would make one of our clients kind of fumble the ball because they don't understand how to do a monument of title. That's stuff that one of our coordinators is doing every day.
Yeah. It might be new to the investor, or it might be new to the first-time home buyer or whatever. But for you, it's like, we've done that numerous times.
Yeah, and nobody got into this business to be to learn title abstracting, right? We got into this business to make money and have fun and do the parts of the business that we love. And I've yet to come across somebody who's like, God, I just love Excel spreadsheets and filing this stuff and learning how to do a notice of interest in some odd county in Virginia.
It blows me away how much paperwork is required. I guess I get it too, because we're in a litigation-oriented society. But man, it's crazy how much paperwork there. I could not. I mean, we do for clients, for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. I couldn't imagine the stuff that you do. I really could not imagine that.
Oh, there are easy ones, right? It's an easy transaction where somebody bought it 2 years ago and it's a cash sale. We're in and out really quick, but we have deals all the time that take a year to close because they're going through probate or pre-foreclosure or bankruptcy or whatever it is. So, and those files get, they'll have 60, 70 documents in there trying to get it closed.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Oh my gosh. That must be unbelievable.
Yeah, what we do, and that's, I guess, if we do have technology, my COO, Heather Anderson's amazing at building that part out. She actually came from Amazon, so she's very big and understands those types of systems. And if you can run, 18,000 packages through a building in one day, you can certainly handle our 2,200 files a year. So she's built out just an amazing back office for us. And that translates to a great, customer facing portal for our clients. So yeah, you definitely got to have a good system. When something changes, and something's got to be changed within that system, and it's got to be, as simple as scalable, right? So it's got to be something that all of our coordinators can adapt to very quickly.
Yeah, I totally get it. So you've been around. You've been a wholesaler. You do a bunch of transactions.
On all the things.
Yeah, I mean, but you're still young. You only look like you're 13. How's that sound?
Thank you. I do. That's because I shaved my gray beard off the other day, so I look much younger than the 53 that I'm going to be in 2 weeks.
Oh, well, happy birthday! So give us a little tidbit, a little word of wisdom as it relates to whatever, being the transaction itself, or maybe even an investor, maybe even a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Et cetera,
yeah.
et cetera.
I think, just some general stuff that I've seen over, decades of doing this is, one of the reasons why people fail, they come in and they wash out of the business, or they quit or get frustrated. One thing is true. We do know this: investing works, wholesaling works, right? So within real estate investing, it is like real estate investing is like being a doctor, right? You could be the eye doctor, the ear doctor, the nose doctor, the toe doctor, the butt doctor, whatever, right? Lots of ways to do medicine. Well, real estate is the same, right? You can be a wholesaler, a rehabber, a landlord, storage units, condo conversions, land developer, right? Lots of ways to do real estate. So first off, pick something that you resonate with, something that you like doing. For instance, I would not do short sales because I don't love being on the phone now all day, right? Interesting that I own a company that does that kind of stuff, but I created it for me. I'm much more of a talky guy, right? I like talking to buyers and sellers. So find a part of the business that you like. You can certainly, if you're an introverted person, you can make a ton of money. Go buy like shopping malls, right? You're going to talk to some realtors and send some emails back and forth, right? If you can raise some money, you can do it. So what I'm saying is there's lots of ways to do this business. Pick something that you like. do not pick something and then next week pick something else and 2 weeks later do something else. And then, those are the people that fail, that kind of do that bouncing ball, to a new shiny object every couple of weeks. So one, do something you like, get very, very focused on it. And then, the other thing that I tell people is find yourself a tribe, find yourself some people that, you can be around, whether it's a mastermind or an online community or, just a coffee meetup in your own town, because being an investor, if you're doing this by yourself, can be lonely, right? When you're sitting at your kitchen table and you're calling sellers and they're hanging up and saying F you, and you're like, this is the hardest job ever. I'm the only person that's getting, everybody else is successful and I'm having this problem. But when you get around other people, you realize that, this is just normal part of the business. And then you see other people getting their wins, and that can be very inspiring. And then also there's going to be a day where you're winning and you can kind of give somebody a hand and kind of pull them up. So I'm a big fan of, getting involved and, having some friends, some people that you can lean on, because you are also this, right? The most successful people out there have bad days and bad weeks, right? Because social media shows us that everybody's got a Rolex and a Lambo and all this stuff. But I know a lot of people, almost all the people in the industry, right? Everybody has bad days. Everybody gets sued. Everybody has crisis. So, having some people that you can really lean on when those things happen, that's what gets you through the bad days.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So, and kind of in closings, we got to land the plane a little bit, but because you're big on social media and your business has grown, I knew you were a player. I didn't know you were that big. Nice work. What are you doing? Or give us maybe a key to success that's worked for you, because that would be a cool story as far as social media, et cetera.
Yeah. Great. So social media. Yep. Social media is a weird thing. It's very weird. I had no intention of being on social media. My very good friend, Sheik, he runs Sheik Productions. He runs a very large, a lot of short form content for, Jerry Norton, Robert Wensley, like a lot of big players. And he came to me and he said, I want to do your social media. And I'm like, bro, I have a face for radio. Like, I should not be on social media. Right. Like this is not the face of a social media star. I said, if I have 10,000 followers, it's not going to help me sleep any better at night. But if I'll do it, if there's a way that we can monetize it, right? Because we don't want to be spending, because it's not cheap to do all the social media. So that was kind of the first thing. But even going back further than that, a very good friend of mine teaches social media marketing. He was the first social media marketing professor at the University of Tennessee. And this is probably in 2015 or 16. And I remember him saying, and this is, if you're listening, you should do this. He said, listen, when you're out at these houses, you should be filming everything, right? Just put the content out there, put it out there. People want to see it. I'm like, Ryan, his name's Ryan Russell. I'm like, Ryan, nobody wants to see me walking through a house. He's like, I promise you people do. This is why reality TV is so huge, because people love seeing behind the scenes. They don't necessarily love that perfectly curated, filtered, right? Like, that's just very bland and vanilla and blah. People want to see you walking through the house, tripping on a board, showing your contractors. Here's the ugly side of real estate. Here's the real side of real estate, as my buddy Tommy Haar says. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. Like, if you're going out to look at a house, flip your camera on. Hey guys, here I am over at 223 Elm Street. I'm going to look at this house. I'm thinking about buying it. Let's take a walk through. Right? Just show your day, show what you're doing. People will follow. People are fascinated by that, because there are so many people who, for whatever reason, don't have the courage to go out and do it, but they will watch that sort of content and follow you. And the more you do, the better you get at it.
It's blowing me away. So we haven't been doing any social media. We actually started social media. So we just started basically, April, and it's completely blown up. It's totally changed my life. I mean, now we have people coming in the door way more numbers than we did before, based on social media, and more than anything. Also, we have clients and prospects who are calling in and then confirming whatever we're saying, talking on social media, and it's helped us. So, I mean, for the people who are out there, remember, we have at least 2,000 real estate agents out there, and we have a number of other 1,800 who are kind of affiliated with us. Probably will be listening to this, hopefully. They really got to get doing social media. But now
we do. It's this ultimate calling card, right? Especially, and the one thing about social media is, don't try to be somebody else, right? Just be yourself. Talk about the thing that you're amazing at, whatever it is, right? Because we're all amazing at something. There's something that you're really good at or you're really passionate about. And that, sincerity, I guess it comes through, and that's what people will follow, right? Like I tell people, I'm a 50-year-old, chubby white guy, but I kind of know what I'm talking about. So people resonate with that. Not everybody, and that's okay, right? Like I'm not the gold chain and, again, Porsche guy, right? Like that's not my thing, but I've done a couple of real estate things and I can certainly talk about it. And some people like that.
Yeah. By the way, I will say you do have a face for video.
But thank you. Appreciate it. It's this filter that I've got on the camera.
Is that why you look like you're 13? Yeah, now it makes sense. All right. So what's one thing we haven't talked about thus far that can add value? Again, our market in, mainly, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, some real estate agents. Give us one thing as far as...
Yeah, one thing I like to tell people, or I would certainly tell my own team when we were very heavily wholesaling is, when we're talking to these sellers and we're talking to buyers, like these are real people, right? We can get so caught up so easily in it just being another deal, just being another contract. It just becomes a number to us. But, the seller is a real person. They typically have a problem. That's why they're coming to us to sell for cash. So we should give them real numbers. Don't just contract people just to get the contract and then go, oh, whoopsie, I'm going to just cancel it later down the road if I can't find a buyer, right? Because now you've affected that person's life. Is your contract legal and you can get out of it? Sure. But is it the right thing? I'm not saying you have to close on it, but, at least know that this is a closable, this is a deal that you can make happen, right? I get it, stuff happens, but I do see some new investors who really have a real blasé attitude about, if I can't find a buyer, I'll just cancel it. And you're really affecting people's lives. And this is the kind of stuff that gives real estate investors a bad name. Certainly, plenty of realtors do the same thing, right? They go see somebody and the seller's like, I want $10 million. They're like, okay, I think that's great. And they put that sign in the yard. But all of us, let's remember, let's, treat these people with the respect that, we are the real estate professionals. So let's do everything we can to help them, because typically they're in some type of distress or the property's in distress and they're looking for a solution, right? Whether it's an investor or an agent. And, we should be doing our best to help people.
And it definitely sounds like you guys are a solution. I like the fact that you're taking the broccoli, taking the mushrooms off our table. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, mushrooms too, right? All of it. Yeah, we just want you to have the ice cream and the boneless pork and the crab legs.
Yeah, and what we say, we as far as bookkeeping and taxes, no one wants to do their own taxes, or if they're smart, they don't. Same with bookkeeping. I mean, we want them to be able to sell their widgets, sell their real estate, do whatever, so we can do their stuff for them, so they can do whatever they're very good at, their core function.
Yeah. I just read a great book, and I know I'm going long, but I'll tell you this: if you haven't read it, it's called "Buy Back Your Time" from Dan Martell. Fantastic book. I don't know that it changed my life, but for me, I was certainly able to embrace a lot of the stuff he talks about. And, he really talks about, buying back your time means the things in your business that you should not be doing, that you should be outsourcing, bookkeeping, property management, like the things that you don't love, that feel like you're walking through quicksand. Outsource those things, because what that does is that starts to give you back your time that, again, I can just pour into the parts of the business that I love. So if you love talking to sellers and you love talking to buyers, now you have more time for that. If you love talking to sellers, but you hate talking to buyers, no problem. Outsource that part of the business, joint venture with somebody else, and just focus on the parts of the business that you love. And you're going to see your revenue skyrocket, because all of the things that you love and your energy, you can pour it into something that really, the thing that jazzes you up, gets you out of bed, and the thing that keeps you up at night and keeps your toes tingling, right? Put your energy there, outsource the rest. And, the growth is, there's no limit to what you can do.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't talked to Martell in years, but he's a very good, business management guru. If you will. I mean, he knows what's going on. And there's one thing I don't think that you mentioned. By the way, I haven't read the book. There's one thing you did not mention. For me, it's like, if we could take something, whatever, like bookkeeping off the shoulders of someone, it's not only the time and the money that they're going to make. It's emotionally, they don't have to worry about doing something they don't want to do. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's not the worrying about it, but it's in the back of your head. You're probably avoiding it, and now it's just kind of taking up space in your brain, and you're worried about, absolutely. Find somebody amazing like you guys that can do the bookkeeping. We can do the transactions. Find a great property manager, right? lots of parts of this business you should not be expected to love it all. And now I don't have to hire in a bookkeeper. I don't have to hire an accountant or a CFO or a transaction coordinator, right? Because our industry has evolved so much, now we can outsource these things to the absolute best in the industry like you.
Yep, I love it. I love it. You're preaching to the choir. I love it. Once again, how does someone get a hold of you one last time?
David at EzREIclosings.com if you want. EzREIclosings.com. You can book a call with me or my team. And then I'm, again, all over social media. David Olds, OLDSREI at any of the different platforms.
Awesome. I'm so glad you spent the time here. Obviously you're worth a call, worth a click, or whatever the case is. And for all those people out there, thanks so much for spending time listening to us. You could be watching ESPN or Netflix. Instead, you're watching or listening to this. And what is this? This is Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really appreciate everyone's time.
Awesome.
Olds, nice work. That was